gündemi Avrupa Birliği mevcut durum yasal mevzuatı hakkında bilgilendirmeleri için AVERE European Association for E-Mobility Başkanı Sayın Maciej Mazur bizlerle birlikte. Alkışlarınızla lütfen. Welcome.
Günaydın, burada olduğum için çok mutluyum. I'm very happy to be here today. All right, so my name is Maciej Mazur. I'm the president of AVERE. I'm as well managing director of Polish Alternative Fuels Association. And I've got a huge pleasure to be here. First of all, I will give a very short presentation about what we are doing in the European Union regarding EV charging. And then I will moderate a very nice panel about how we are really developing e-mobility in Europe. So probably, yeah, you should see the presentation right now. It's gonna be very, very short. It's really difficult to cover all important aspects in just 10 minutes, so I suppose it's just a kind of an overview. So first of all, I suppose like everywhere else in Europe, more than 75% of charging is taking place in places like home or at office. And that's why we in the European Union are working on two different paths. First of all, we are working on public accessible charging stations, but as well we are working in parallel on private charging stations as well. And today I'll try to tell you a little bit about both of those topics. In Europe right now we've got around 500,000 public accessible charging points. So that's quite a lot, but still far from what we need to have this market as big as we would expect it. Unfortunately, the geographical distribution of EV charging points is uneven. So there are parts of Europe like France, like Germany, like the Netherlands, where there are quite a lot of charging points, public accessible. And on the other hand, there are some parts on the south, on the east, on the west as well, where we still lack the number of public accessible charging points. We launched this whole idea that transport should be zero emission quite long ago. I suppose at the beginning of the 21st century, we were already thinking as European Union that that's something that we should do. But actually, we accelerated this pace just 2-3 years ago with a Fit for 55 package. So first of all, we created a European Green Deal, for sure you heard about it, and then a kind of a climate law appeared. Based on that, Fit for 55 was prepared as a kind of legislative package that consists of very concrete actions that has to be taken to make this change happen. And last year, we've seen that already some of those Fit for 55 packages projects are already happening. So let me tell you about three most important ones. The first one for kind of association like PSPA, I suppose the same for SEVA or for ADIVE from Spain, is AFIR. AFIR is an acronym for Alternative Fuels Infrastructure Regulation. And a very important thing is regulation at the end of this name, because it used to be a directive, but right now it's a regulation, so it is implemented automatically in all member states. So starting from the 13th of April next year, all member countries in the European Union will have to adopt alternative fuels infrastructure regulation. And why this regulation is so important? Because we've got some binding targets there. For example, every 60 kilometer on 10T network, so that's a network about highways, you will have to have charging stations. So that's very, very important to have this kind of regulation that is binding. As well, we've got there quite a lot of regulations that are about the whole market, public accessible charging points market. So that's why it's really important. That's the most important piece of the legislation within the Fit for 55 package. In my second presentation, during the panel discussion, I will show you how important it is for a country like Poland. So Poland is not one of the leaders, so without AFIR, we will not be able to achieve such big numbers as we will have to achieve having AFIR already adopted and implemented. There are some other very important parts of AFIR, apart from targets for charging stations, public accessible, and the targets are not only for light vehicles, but as well for heavy-duty vehicles. So that's the very first time that we've got a regulation that is about the trucks. And in Europe, we will have charging infrastructure, especially implemented for heavy-duty vehicles. There are quite a lot of chapters, and you can find them very important changes in the law. For example, regarding to payments, regarding to pricing, everything is changing based on AFIR. The second very important piece of legislation, a little bit different from AFIR, is EPBD. So that's Energy Performance of Buildings Directive. It's important because, as I mentioned at the very beginning, most of charging sessions are taking part at home or at office. So we've got to create a market for this part of the market. And that's why we've got EPBD. In EPBD, we can find some rules how buildings should be equipped with charging points. So every new and every renovated buildings will have to have the chance to invest there and to have their charging points ready and waiting for the final user. And that's why the EPBD is really important. But as you can see here, it's a directive. So we've got, as member countries, to adopt this law into our very own law. So it's not as fast process as with a regulation which is happening automatically. Yes, so here we will have 18 months for every member state to make it a kind of our law in member states. Why EPBD is so important? Because charging at home, charging at office is cheaper. I suppose the same here. It's always cheaper. So we should be really focusing on this part of the story. And that's why EPBD is so important. But in many, many cases, in countries like Poland, France, Germany, we do not have the chance to implement charging stations in the underground garages. That's why we've got to have a proper regulation that will allow us to have this kind of charging infrastructure being implemented. And the third very, very important act that is already happening is the Renewable Energy Directive, RED III. That's the third change of Renewable Energy Directive. And it is important because we should know why we are doing this. And we are developing zero-emission transport because it's very, very important because of the climate crisis. But some of the countries still have the energy mix based on, for example, coal. So in RED 3, there is a binding target that in 2030, 42.5 energy that is being used should be coming from renewables. So the sustainable energy should be at the level 42.5 in 2030. Still, it's a directive, so it has to be implemented in our countries, and it should be done till the half of 2025. What is the biggest challenge? And it would be great to hear if the same is here in Turkey. The biggest challenge for the whole Europe, the whole European Union, is the grid, because the grid is still not ready to have this kind of investment in the e-mobility sector. So we still are not prepared to have locations where we should have a grid connection that is about a couple of megawatts, not kilowatts, but megawatts. And that's something what we are doing right now. We are focusing on the grid because that's the missing part. And in countries like Slovakia, in countries like Spain, in countries like Italy, Poland, I suppose Turkey is the same. Grid is the biggest challenge. And during the next year and during the next term of the European Parliament, for sure we will focus on the grid mostly. All right, so I think that was the very brief overview of what we are facing in European Union. 3 pieces of very, very important legislation, 3 acronyms: AVERE for public accessible charging stations, EPBD for private charging points, and RED 3 to make the energy being sustainable. So that's the 3 pillars of sustainable transport in the European Union. And right now we are moving to the next point, panel discussion.
Sayın Maciej Mazur'a çok teşekkür ederiz kıymetli sunumu için. Kendisiyle tabii ki devam edeceğiz. Dünya Elektrikli Araçlar Birliği Başkanı, AVERE Başkanı, yardımcıları ve ülke yöneticilerinin katılımıyla şimdiki panelimizde ülke sunumları, ülke bazında şarj altyapısı, mevcut durum ve ülke analizleri yapılacak. Dünya ve Avrupa Elektrikli Araç, pil ve şarj pazarına genel bakış, bugün ve yakın zaman için neler olacak bunlar konuşulacak. Ve Avrupa Birliği 2035 içten yanmalı motorlu araçlara satış yasağıyla ilgili de hedef ve son gelişmelerden bahsedilecek efendim. Moderatörlüğünü Sayın Maciej Mazur yapacak gene, AVERE European Association for E-Mobility Başkanı ve bir diğer konuğumuz Mr. Arturo Perez de Lucia, AVERE European Association for E-Mobility Başkan Yardımcısı ve yine bir diğer konuğumuz Sayın Patrick Krizanski, AVERE European Association for E-Mobility Başkan Yardımcısı ve Sayın Haluk Sayar bizlerle, AVERE European Association for E-Mobility Yönetim Kurulu üyesi ve AVERE Türkiye Başkan Yardımcısı.
This one. Right. So once again, I'm very happy to be here. And right now, I'm not anymore a presenter, I'm a moderator right now. Got 3 people here and 1 online. So maybe we'll start with Arturo with his presentation about what is happening right now in Spain. Arturo, the floor is yours. Cannot still see you, neither hear you, but still the floor is yours. Yeah, we can see it.
Opportunity of electric mobility in Spain. And first of all, I don't know if it works. Okay, let me check. If not, with the, okay, next one. So first of all, let me explain who we are. We are the Spanish Portuguese E-Mobility Business Association. So IDIB is a non-profit association that promotes electromobility and gathers the industrial, technological, and services value chain of this market in both countries. And we have almost 300 big SMEs and small companies. And we provide information to our associated members, and we work in 5 main pillars: advisory entity for public sectors, business accelerator for members, access to early and essential non-public information, fight the lack of knowledge on e-mobility, and business opportunities in foreign markets. And we, of course, we work in national legislation, should provide the best framework for e-mobility market. And this is our vision. E-mobility is part of the solution for transport decarbonization, and e-mobility is sustainable mobility, but above all, it's energy efficiency as well. So this is a vision. This is a a picture which shows e-mobility in Spain in 2022, and of course to 2023, the third quarter. So as you can see, well, we have evolved from 2002. Not only in public chargers, because we closed 2022 with more than 21,000 public chargers. Now, the third quarter of 2023, we had 27,000, more than 27,000 chargers, public chargers. We have grown as well in units registered, electric vehicle units registered in Spain. So, of course, we are one of the, well, we are a country with low numbers in terms of EV registrations, but we are growing with a growth of almost 60%. So that's in chargers, and of course around 40% in electric vehicles. And we expect to end 2023 with 130,000 EVs registered. So we are growing. Of course, we would like to speed up these numbers, but I think we are growing rapidly. And of course, charging infrastructure is growing in the same way that electric vehicles. So we are growing in parallel, charging points and electric vehicles. And in terms of, we are also EV charger manufacturers, and we have manufactured in the 2022 360,000 units, and that's a very good number. And we expect 480,000 units in this year, and we export around 90% of what we produce in Spain. So that's a very interesting number for Spanish manufacturers, and I hope we can increase this number. So if we let me give you a vision about because we are involved, of course, in the passenger cars and so on, electric light vehicles, but we are also working in order to deploy charging infrastructures for electric heavy-duty vehicles, because I think it will be a very interesting market for now, but especially for the future. We have to work rapidly in order to meet the demands of the AVERE. And well, these are the numbers we expect for the Spanish market for 2025, 2027, and 2030. And of course, we have a lot of challenges. For example, the availability of outputs of power in the grid in order. Yeah, do you hear me? Right? Well, I continue. This is a very good challenge, a very important challenge in Spain to have enough power in our grid in order to provide service to our electric heavy duty vehicles. So and the other one is well to install rapidly these kind of chargers in order to overcome the barriers we have from the regulatory point of view and from licenses and permissions in order to install these chargers. So as you can see, these are the numbers of every year 2025 for public access recharging station for trucks, and the expectations of electric vehicles, electric heavy duty trucks. In this case, in 2025, we expect 5,700 units. We expect for 2027, 14,300 units. And of course, the power to be installed, it's a huge amount of 220 megawatts. And in 2030, we expect 1,000 megawatts for providing service to more than 35,000 electric heavy duty vehicles. So this is a huge challenge we have to meet in order to meet the demands of the AVERE, and we need a close collaboration between the private and public sector in order to make it rapidly and efficiently. If we talk about the hits and misses, well, we can say that in Spain, we are boosting the e-mobility industry, not only from the OEM's perspective. We have 17 factories for the automotive sectors, and all of them are involved in the electric mobility. But we have also a huge amount of charging point manufacturers, and this is very interesting because I think the automotive industry has included now another industrial arm, which is the charging point production, and this is very important. But we are also involved in battery production, recycling, reuse through second life batteries. And we have to bear in mind that in Spain we have as well minery for electric vehicles. So we have the second largest lithium mine in Europe, and we have a huge amount of raw materials, and we have to work in order to take advantage of these kind of materials. Of course, we are taking advantage of the next generation EU recovery funds through plans like MOVES for providing subsidies for purchasing electric vehicles and charging infrastructures, and PERTES which are the plans for industrial plans for OEMs and charging manufacturers as well, and batteries as well. We are promoting regulations aimed at the momentum of electric vehicle in urban areas, establishing zero emission zones, spreading sharing solutions with scooters, bikes, motorcycles, and cars, installing charging infrastructures, and forcing public administration to set an example for doing that, to purchase electric vehicles and to install charging points. And we are facilitating the development of renewable energy sources because in Spain we have a huge amount of renewable energies, and there are a lot of synergies between renewable energies and electric vehicles, of course. And in Spain, we have to bear in mind that we are totally dependent of third countries for purchasing oil. So we have to be more independent, and we have the opportunity through renewable energies. On the other hand, okay, we have misses, and we need to. This is the goal we have in Spain. We have to register more than 700,000 electric vehicles every year until 2030 if we want to achieve the targets of the National Integrated Energy and Climate Plan, which is focused on 5.5 million electric vehicles in 2030. So in order to do this, we miss regulatory flexibility and transparency of information from public administrations, and it's necessary to eliminate regulatory obstacles that public charging infrastructures currently have in terms of licenses and permissions. And for example, in the availability of power map that allows CPOs to know what power the electricity grid has in a certain place. And this is something we're working now on our regulatory issues, and we expect to have a solution as soon as possible. And we also miss a regulatory homogenization at local, regional, and national levels. And we also miss electric vehicle aids that are received at the time of the purchase, because sometimes there are users that receive this aid 1 year or 2 years after purchasing the electric vehicle. So this is a problem that, for example, doesn't exist in Portugal and in other countries, and it's very important for inviting citizens to buy electric vehicles. Let me finish with two slides, more slides, in order to explain that for us, e-mobility is much more than sustainable mobility. Of course it is, because it's zero emissions in propulsion and so on. But for us, e-mobility, above all, is energy efficiency, because it's the only propulsion system able to interact with the electrical system in order to boost renewable energies, distribute generation, and energy storage through bidirectional recharge. And this is a very good example we have in Spain with the building of a company called Wallbox. I know you are aware of this company. And they need a huge amount of power in order to meet the demands in the building, but the grid couldn't give it. So they had this problem. And the situation is that they had two options. The option one is to upgrade the grid by building a new transformer, and with a huge cost and 12 months of implementation, or they could do it differently. So they did what they did. They put solar power in the roof of the building. They installed bidirectional EV chargers, because they had 23 Nissan Leafs able to take energy from the grid as well, and to receive energy from the grid. And they installed stationary batteries. So the solution, the results was that with the option A, the cost was around 500,000 euros, with 12 months of implementation, and electricity bill of 100,000 euros per year and increasing. And through the option B, the cost was less than 500,000 euros, with only 4 months of implementation, and with a cost of 150,000 euros per year of electricity bill, much less than the other option. So we are talking about energy efficiency, but as well we are talking about an economical advantage by using electric vehicles as a concept of energy efficiency. So let me show you just one picture. This is an installation in the middle of the road between Madrid, which is the capital, and Valencia in the Mediterranean Sea. And they installed, they had enough power in the grid, and they installed this kind of container with second life batteries from electric vehicles, able to provide 100 kilowatts of power. And because of that, they could install two more charging points. And this is important, because if you don't have access to more power in the grid, there are solutions able to provide this possibility. And we also have services, sharing services, able to give a solution not only for the city, but interregional. So there are companies like Guppy that are providing Teslas for car sharing, very competitive in price for the citizens, and able to be used not only in the urban area, but also you can go from the north to the south of Spain with these vehicles without the need of purchasing an electric vehicle. So this is a very good solution because it's important for people who has not enough money to buy electric vehicles. So this is what we want to provide, a complete solution for all the citizens. So this is all the presentation, and thank you for attending, and I will be open to any questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Right. Thanks a lot, Arturo. So what is happening in Spain? So right now, let's move from the west to the east and check what is happening in Slovakia. Patrick Brzezinski, Slovak EV Association.
Maciej, thank you. Haluk, thank you also for the invitation. As we were told, we should give you a quick briefing about the countries, where we stand. And it's great to be here in this beautiful city of Istanbul to speak not about Southern Europe only, but about Central Europe. Because Slovakia is obviously in central part, and if I can see my presentation, start immediately. All right, here. Okay, I will quickly brief you about the status of charging infrastructure, about battery electric vehicle market, and also about the policies. And I will look at the situation from the perspective of the outside stakeholder who might actually benefit from this situation in Slovakia. Although we are a small market, 5 million people, totally 2.5 million cars, we are in a big crowd of European member states, EU member states, who need to comply with all this regulatory framework. This means AVERE, so charging stations. It also means sufficient number of battery electric vehicles. And also I will show you how we are actually impacted by this transformation as a big automotive industry country. Just to give you a little glimpse on SEVA, it's about 50, more than 50 members from usual suspects, automotive charging stations, utilities, financing, everything what is typical to other associations. We are also part of AVERE, so European E-Mobility Association, and we do suspected activities. So we do advocacy, lobbying, networking, intelligence, data collection, so everything what the other associations do. We also AVERE Turkey create ecosystem would be better for e-mobility. What we are actually looking at, the priorities are as follows. We will look at sufficient cars in the corporate e-fleets, so companies are the major drivers with the battery electric vehicles. We also look at the electric heavy-duty vehicles. We started this initiative to bring trucks on the roads, as we have a number of OEMs importing and selling trucks. All of them actually have portfolio of electric trucks. We're looking at the transformation of the industry. So as a big powerhouse for cars, Slovakia needs to transform sufficiently. We also look at the electrification. So that's what Maciej and also Arturo mentioned, bringing more cables underground, bringing more transformation stations. Get ready for the big transformation which goes towards electrification. Just to give you a couple of numbers and not to bore you with too much, we are somewhere under 2,000 charging points. Don't forget, we are a small country, so they are mostly obviously AC chargers, and 25% up to 35% they are fast chargers. So what we call the high power charging, typically 50 kilowatt or more, 150 kilowatt. They are pretty equally spread around the country. Obviously, a little bit more in Western Slovakia with the capital city of Bratislava, but the other regions are more or less very well distributed over 700 locations. So what we call location where you have more chargers or charging points, because now we actually go more towards the hubs. If you want to look at the opportunity in our market, in our country, this is actually how we see it. I mean, we are having now a big subsidy round, almost 50 million euro from state budget, which goes into charging stations. So we expect several thousands of chargers being installed within the next 2 years, more or less also subsidized from the state budget. Mostly AC chargers, but also DC chargers, and big chunk of this money goes into highways. So ultra fast charging hubs on the highways. So I would call this opportunity number one, also for potentially Turkish suppliers. Opportunity number two would be the growth of the battery electric vehicle market, which we are somewhere under 5% of the sales. Obviously, less developed than Western Europe, but we are heading towards more battery electric vehicles on the roads. We expect somewhere around 220,000 electric vehicles in 2030. I talk about battery electric. We don't do plug-in hybrids. I mean, we don't care how many plug-in hybrids because they will be temporary on the road. So battery electric, that's our ultimate target. I just want to give you a little glimpse on the policies which have been actually approved recently, which actually present challenges but also opportunities for Turkish companies. As I mentioned, there will be almost 50 million, or it's actually already ongoing initiative, 50 million euro going into AC, DC, and ultra-fast charging from the state budget. It is actually distributed through municipalities and also directly focused on companies. So you can ask for money if you install chargers. We actually are introducing EV subsidies. So it will be a second round for EV subsidies, which we expect in the next 6 months. So hopefully we will start the new round very soon, where EVs or battery electric vehicles will be subsidized with 5,000 euro cash. Obviously, we look also on other types of incentives, tax area, or making it easier for corporates. And we also look at electric buses. Some 60 million euro will go for subsidies for, they actually are already going for cities. So cities can ask for subsidized electric buses. There's also a huge chunk of money going into distribution grids. So about 150 million for upgrades of the distribution grids to make them more resilient and more ready for electrification, which is very important for creating sufficient network of chargers. If you look at the Central Eastern Europe and really in the heart of the center, you would actually find countries which are very reliant on automotive industry and to some extent on the battery industry. You would look at Slovakia, which is number one per capita producer of cars in the world, neighboring with Czech Republic, which is number two, and you would have Hungary to the south, close, and the same with Poland with the automotive. But we shouldn't forget that these countries actually develop very strong battery industry. Poland is, if I'm not mistaken, Maciej number two, and Hungary number four. I'm saying this because I want to stress the importance of the transition to electric vehicles, not only from the market perspective, So to have sufficient cars on the roads, to have sufficient charging stations, but of course, to create momentum to build the cars. We have currently 5 OEMs in Slovakia, actually 4, plus the 5th one is coming, the last one, Volvo, which actually make 1 million cars now without Volvo, and 16% are electric. Additionally, at least 250,000 battery electric vehicles will be made in the new plant built by Volvo as of 2026. So as you see, we are very reliant on the successful transformation towards electric mobility. Thank you for your time. I'm ready for your questions.
Thanks a lot, Patrick. So from central part of Europe, still the central part, but the north side, so I will deliver the third presentation. So I will just change the place. All right. There is a question from the audience. Yep. Quite difficult to hear you, but
Hello, thank you for the presentation. I really liked it actually. I want to ask that how is the Italy market? Is it consolidated or fragmented? How are you seeing that market?
Asking me, right? How is which market consolidated? Unfortunately, we don't have Francesco, our friend from Italy, here. Can answer.
the question was about Italy, am I right? But you know that Patrick is from Slovakia. And you're asking Patrick.
I'm actually from a little country named Slovakia, but you can ask our friend Francesco, who is actually our counterpart in Italy, but unfortunately not today.
Yeah, so maybe I'll tell you a little bit about AVERE. Because we've got an association from Italy called Motus E, and as AVERE, maybe I should done it at the very beginning, but I was so focused on welcoming you in Turkish language that I forgotten to tell you a little bit about AVERE. AVERE is a quite unique association because we consist of 3 member categories. The first one are national associations, and here we are as 4 national associations from Turkey, from Slovakia, from Spain, and from Poland, and we've got more than 20 more. So we've got as well one from Italy called Motus E, and that's what makes AVERE very, very special, because there is no other association of its kind. The second group of members are companies. Tesla will be here, the best example. And the third group, all institutions that are related to the knowledge. So research institutions, some technology universities, and so on. So that is what AVERE is. And we are having right now nearly 70 members, if I remember correctly, and we are on the market since 1978, so 45 years in total. All right, so right now I'd like to tell you a little bit about the place from where I come from, so about Poland, but I see that you do not see my presentation, neither do I. So maybe I'll start by telling you a couple of things about PSPA. We are one of the largest associations of its kind. We've got nearly 300 members. As Poland, we are quite a big country, 40 million people, 20+ million passenger vehicles, 1 million heavy-duty vehicles. So That's quite a lot of vehicles to be changed to electric ones. What is the market in Poland? But first of all, let me tell you a couple things about Europe as AVERE president. That's my duty to tell you a little bit about the Europe. Why we are focusing on zero-emission transport. I already stressed this out, but once again, because transport is one of the biggest polluters. 22% of EU greenhouse gas emissions is coming from the transport sector. So we are on the second place, and that's why we've got to be very focused on transport. In the transport sector, most of the EU gas emissions are coming from road transport, 72%, 43.5 passenger cars, then nearly 20% heavy-duty vehicles. That's why it's so important to not be focused only on passenger vehicles, but on heavy-duty vehicles as well. As you can see, road transport is unfortunately the leader, then water and civil aviation on the same level, around 13-14%. So 72% is about road transport. That's why we started with road transport to decarbonize transport. So as I already mentioned, in 2021, we, as European Union, established the Fit for 55 package, and based on this package, we've got a couple of very important acts. I told you about some of them. Once again, the most important one from our perspective is AVERE. Why? Because as you can see, we will have to develop EV charging infrastructure, and we will have to do it significantly. As you can see, based on the example of Poland, right now in our charging station system, we've got nearly 90 megawatts, and we should have by the end of 25 423 megawatts installed in charging stations capacity. So that's quite a lot, and that's a huge challenge. But the situation in Europe is changing, and it's changing rapidly. As you can see on this slide, we've got already more than 5 million battery electric vehicles on our roads. Last 12 months, we registered nearly 2 million battery electric vehicles. So as you can see, it's no longer a niche. It's already a fast-growing part of the market. How fast it's growing, that's the perfect example how fast the market is growing. In 2019, we had just 2% of battery electric vehicles being registered among all new registered vehicles in the European Union. In 2019, so just 4 years ago. Today, nearly 14% are battery electric vehicles. So that's a very, very big change, and you can see what is happening. ICE vehicles are losing, so petrol and diesel. As you can see, petrol nearly 60% in 2019, and right now half of it, 36%. Even worse, the situation is looking for diesel, 30% in 2019, and right now 14%. So that's the end of diesel engine in European Union. We are quite sure about that. On the other hand, hybrids, plug-in hybrids and battery electric vehicles, the numbers are growing and are growing significantly, and nothing will stop the situation. What the situation in Poland? So we've seen the situation in Europe, what the situation in Poland. Right now we've got nearly 90,000 electric vehicles on our roads. Half of it are battery electric vehicles, the other part plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. So we are quite sure that till the end of this year we'll reach 100,000, and that's our goal. We've got as well 5,000 trucks on our roads, and that's very important for us because Poland is the biggest player in the field of heavy-duty transport in whole Europe. So for us, that's the biggest challenge. How many charging stations we've got? We've got more than 3,000 right now charging stations, so it means that we've got more than 6,000 charging points. 30% are DC charging stations, 70% are AC charging stations, and that's quite a good-looking ratio we would like to keep in the future. What is the forecast? The forecast is that we will reach 1 million battery electric vehicles in 2030, another 600,000 plug-in hybrid vehicles, so in total 1.5 million electric vehicles should be on our roads till the end of 2030. And the last slide, what already Patrick kindly mentioned, we are the biggest manufacturer of lithium-ion batteries, the biggest in Europe and the second biggest in the world, and that's what makes us a very, very big player in the whole market, because that's a new gold, lithium-ion batteries. So we've got to be focused what to do next. The market we know is ending, the new market is coming, so we've got to choose as countries what we should do next. And we as Poland, we've chosen that we would like to be a very big player in the lithium-ion batteries market, and hopefully we will be in the 30s and the 40s. All right, that's all from my side. I will not change the place. So Haluk, from the north, we are moving to the south. So please tell us, actually, me, Patrick, and Arturo, what is happening here in Turkey? Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to express my presentation, for contribution. Very much. Really. If you don't mind, I will my presentation. Evet, kısaca 10 dakika içerisinde araç pazarıyla ilgili sizlere. Tabii ki dünyada da aynı, Türkiye'de de aynı şekilde. Elektrikli araçlara geçiş tamamen iklim değişikliğinin bir sonucu. Dolayısıyla fosil yakıtlardan uzaklaşmak zorundayız. Bu enerjide böyle, sanayide, mobilitede de böyle. Dolayısıyla biz fosil yakıtlı araçlardan elektrikli olanlara geçiş yapıyoruz. Şu anda geçiş dönemindeyiz. Ve demin de sunumlarda gördüğünüz gibi araçların ulaşımın toplam emisyonlardaki payı oldukça yüksek. 20'ler civarında. Türkiye'de de benzer bir durum var. Biraz daha az olsa da Avrupa'dan. Dolayısıyla iklim değişikliği konusu Birleşmiş Milletler nezdinde ele alınıp Paris Anlaşması ve takip eden çerçeve süreçleri boyunca hızlı bir geçiş sürecini izliyoruz hep beraber dünya olarak. Türkiye'deki durumu kısaca aktarmak gerekiyor. Türkiye'deki emisyonların, ulaşım kaynaklı emisyonların önemli bölümü karayollarından gerçekleşiyor ve %55'i otomobillerden ortaya çıkıyor. Dolayısıyla büyük bir potansiyele sahip Türkiye elektrikli araçlara geçiş yaparak emisyonlarını azaltmakla ilgili. Türkiye'de otomotiv pazarı, otomotiv endüstrisi oldukça gelişmiş durumda. Dünyadaki sıralaması 13. Diğer ülkelerde görüyorsunuz başı Çin çekiyor. Ve otomotiv endüstrisi Türkiye'de toplam ihracatın önemli bir bölümünü karşılıyor. %13 ve lider esasında baktığınız zaman. Ve bu ihracatının %64'ünü Avrupa Birliği ülkelerine, %10 küsürünü de İngiltere'ye yapıyor. Dolayısıyla her ihracatının, otomotiv sektöründen bahsediyorum, %75'ini Avrupa ülkelerine gerçekleştiriyor. Dolayısıyla Türkiye'nin elektro mobilite geçişi aynı zamanda otomotiv endüstrisinin sürekliliğini sağlaması açısından oldukça önemli. Ve oradaki gelişmeleri takip etmek durumunda. Ve bununla ilgili yasal hazırlıklar tamamlanmış durumda. Hala eksiklikler var. Sabahki oturumda belki görmüşsünüzdür. Onlar da giderilmeye çalışılıyor. Ama özellikle son 2 senede inanılmaz yasal mevzuatlar, hazırlıklar, stratejiler belirlenmiş durumda ve uygulamaya sokulmuş durumda. Bunların biz faydasını gördük mü? Birazdan size aktaracağım ki gördük. Bu yasaları, buradaki mevzuatları teker teker girmeyeceğim. Fakat birçok konu son 3-4 senede, 2017'den başlayarak uygulamaya konmuş ve şu anda devrede olan mevzuatlar. Ve sonuç. Bakın bu sonuç çok ilginç. Eylül 2022'ye baktığımız zaman elektrikli araçların payı toplam satılan tüm araçların %1,7'si idi. Peki 2023'e geldiğimiz zaman ne oldu? Şu anda 2023 Eylül ayında satılan her aracın, 100 aracın 13,5'u yani %13,5'u elektrikli hale geldi. Bu dizel araçlarla aynı oran. Yani dizel araç satışı kadar artık elektrikli araç satışı yapılıyor Türkiye'de. Büyük bir ilerleme. 2022 yılı sonu itibariyle Avrupa Birliği'ndeki oran zaten bu. Biz çok kısa bir süre içerisinde Avrupa Birliği'nin satış oranlarını yakalamak üzereyiz. Ve yakalayacağız da öyle gözüküyor. Diğer sonuçlara bakacak olursak, demin söylediğim gibi çok hızlı bir büyüme içindeyiz. Ama bu sadece elektrikli araç satışlarıyla bağlantılı değil. Elektrikli araç şarj altyapısı da çok hızlı büyüyor. Bugün itibariyle 4500'ün üzerinde şarj istasyonu, 10.000'in üzerinde soketle hizmette. Ve Türkiye genelinde bu yaygınlaşıyor. Özellikle batı bölgelerinde başladı esasında bu süreç ama doğu bölgelerinde hızlıca ilerlemeye başlamış durumda. Bu 4500 tane istasyonun yaklaşık 1400 tanesi ise hızlı şarj istasyonu. Esasında bu rakamlar bu sene sonuna bu şekilde devam ettiğinde 200.000 aracın elektrik şarj ihtiyacını karşılayacak gibi gözüküyor. Ama biz bu kadar araç sahibi değiliz. Bu da şunu gösteriyor esasında. Elektrikli araç şarj altyapısı oldukça başarılı bir şekilde uygulanmaya konmuş durumda. Sonuç olarak daha fazla da uzatmak istemiyorum. Tabii ki demin de başta da söylediğim gibi tüm ülkeler elektro mobiliteye geçişte iklim değişikliği ile ilgili taahhütlerini yerine getirmekle yükümlü olduklarından yapıyorlar. Biz de aynı şekilde bu taahhütleri vermiş durumdayız. Paris Anlaşması'nın tarafı olarak ve hatta takip eden Birleşmiş Milletler Zirvesi'nde COP26 orada Türkiye bir taahhütün de altına girdi. 2040 yılına kadar tüm araçların elektrikli olması ile ilgili anlaşmanın altına da imza attı. Son olarak şunu söyleyebilirim. Demek ki bu atılan son 3-4 senede atılan yasal mevzuat, strateji ve politikalar doğru imiş ki biz bu noktaya gelebildik. Ya bununla beraber tabii Türk özel sektörünün de başarısının altını çizmek çok önemli. Çünkü çok dinamik bir özel sektöre sahip Türkiye. Ve daha belki en önemlisi de Türk insanları, halkı, araç kullanıcıları elektrikli araçları benimsediler. Ve bu kadar hızlı bir satış oranına yakalamış durumdayız. Tabii bu kadar hızlı büyümenin riskleri de olabilir. Bunun özellikle altını çizmek lazım. Yarın öbür gün başka problemlerle karşılaşabiliriz ve bunların da önlemini almakla yükümlüyüz. AVERE olarak biz de elimizden geleni yapmaya bu süreçte devam edeceğiz. Çok teşekkürler. Sağ olun.
Thank you, Alec, very much. Thanks as well for having us here. Here with my whole family. We're staying for 1 week, and really that's a wonderful city, so it's great to be here. Right now, we've got 7 minutes left, so we've got some time for some questions from the audience. So we are here to answer at least a couple. Are there any questions? There is one. All right. All right. One moment. One moment.
Hi. Thank you very much for your presentations. My name is Cem Alpaslan. Personally, I'm a mechanical engineer and I work as a consultant for various companies. Actually, my question will be to Haluk Bey, if you don't mind, and can I ask in Turkish also so that the audience can hear and understand better. Haluk Bey merhaba. Prezentasyonunuz çok değerli ve çok güzeldi. Bilgileriniz için çok teşekkür ederiz. Önemli bir süreçten geçtiğimiz kesin. Sunumunuzdan anladığım 2040 yılından itibaren Türkiye'de yeni araç satın almak isteyenler sadece elektrikli araç satın alabilecek. Doğru mudur?
Bunun için elinden geleni yapacak Türkiye. Yani kesinlikle 2040 yılından sonrasında elektrikli araç satılması şu an için söz konusu değil. Ama bunun için 2040 yılından itibaren tüm satılan araçların elektrikli olması ile ilgili tüm elinden geleni, tüm şeyleri yapacağını taahhüt etmiş durumda.
Tamam.
Ama Avrupa'daki 2035 yasağıyla karıştırmamak.
Tamam.
Oradaki 2035 yılından itibaren içten yanmalı motorlu araç satışı yasaklanıyor.
Satışı mı, üretimi mi? Şu açıdan söylüyorum. Mesela biz bunu, bu araçları, içten yanmalı motorlu araçları kullanmaya devam edebiliriz belki. Kendi ülke kararımız yönünde. Ama Avrupa elektrikli, tamamen elektrikli araç üretimine geçeceği için 2035'ten itibaren aslında otomatik olarak içten yanmalı araç kullanma imkanımız olmayacak gibi görünüyor yeni araçlarda.
Ben de öyle görüyorum. Yani belki tam olarak 2040 demiyor Türkiye ama demin de anlatmaya çalıştığım gibi Avrupa'yı çok yakından tarif eden bir pazarımız var. Dolayısıyla oradaki gelişmeler direkt buraya geliyor. Onlar 2035'te eğer yasaklıyorlarsa bizim çok geçmeyecek.
Evet, üretimlerimizle beraber bu bir noktaya gelecek. Çok teşekkür ederim.
Ben
Sağ olun.
teşekkür ederim. Sağ olun.
Patrick, I heard you would like to add something. Please.
Before there is another question. We got 75% if I calculate it, or if I count it, cars going into markets that will switch fully zero emission, and in reality that is electric. So as of 2035, it doesn't matter if Turkey switches, your biggest clients will definitely switch, which obviously, you know, that requires transformation, and I'm pretty sure we will use combustion engines for some more years. I think that until 2030 it will grow, but 2030 will be real switch, and I think should all transition as fast as possible. Also, not only with charging stations and with battery electric vehicle market, but with the industry, because suddenly we will lose customers.
I see here another question.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for very good presentations. I'm Emre Pekkan. I'm the director of Axio, Catalonia Trade and Investment Office in Turkey. And I would like to divert my question to all of the speakers. In Turkey, the customs duties for imported electric battery vehicles are such high as normal combustion vehicles. So we pay, for example, 1,000 for, let's say, for an electric vehicle, and we pay another 1,000 for taxes. What about this in European Union countries like Poland, Slovakia, or I don't know, does European Union have a policy, a unified policy for that, or all the member states, they have their own policies for import duties for electric battery vehicles? Thank you very much.
So I can be the first. I think the answer is a little bit complex. EU is supporting member countries and is allowing to change the excise duty level. So, for example, in Poland, we do not have excise duty for battery electric vehicles. That's quite a big change in comparison to ICE vehicles. But it's about every country to decide what they will do. Here, I mean, in Poland, what we are doing, we are basing on Act on Electro Mobilite. We've got an Act on Electro Mobility from 2018, and in this regulation, we've got some other things different than we can find, for example, in AVERE. So, for example, you do not park for battery electric vehicle. You do not pay for parking as a BV owner. You can use bus lanes, but it's only in Poland. We've got, for example, green plates as well, so it's much easier to see battery electric vehicle in Poland, because right now in Warsaw there are quite a lot of cars with green plates, and that's really something that is moving the transition forward, because people are seeing battery electric vehicles on the roads. They are asking questions why they do have green plates and so on. So we've got a kind of a combination of some fiscal and non-fiscal tools that aim is to help the market to grow. So maybe, Patrick, if you can add something here.
Obviously, as an EU member country, you never pay import duty. Wherever you actually produce the EV in the other country is not without taxes, or I mean duty taxes, tax duty. Also, when we look at individual countries, that what Maciej mentioned, you have additional what we call road tax, to corporates. For Slovakia, we don't pay road tax for EVs. You have specific tax incentives, for example, focused on employers. In many EU countries, you don't pay as the employee any additional tax for low emission, or I mean zero emission cars. Obviously, battery electric vehicles are the most used zero emission cars. So when we speak about import tax, there's no import tax other than when it is imported from the Great Britain, for example. But countries have different tax incentives to make you happy if you use battery electric vehicle. The same with Slovakia.
Arturo, I don't know if you are still with us. Arturo from Spain. If you are and you'd like to add something, that's the right moment. I suppose he's not with us anymore. All right, so yeah, as Patrick said, we are focusing in European Union on the total cost of ownership, and in many countries it's being done differently. So outside of European Union, for example, in Norway, they do not have VAT tax. In the Ukraine, the same, and that's something that helps a lot. In our case, in Poland, we are using subsidies as well. So we are having subsidies for N1 category and for M1 category. And I think that subsidies are quite often something that is changing the situation. Plus taxes, and at the end, we've got a positive TCO. All right. We are 3 minutes, but if I can see any other question, but I do not see any other questions, so I think we can call it a day. And thank you very much. It was great to be a moderator of this session. Thanks a lot. Arturo from Spain, Patrick from Slovakia, Haluk from Turkey, and my name is Maciej Mazur from Poland and AVERE as well. Thanks a lot and have a lovely, lovely fair.
Konuşmacılarımıza çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Thank you for your presentations. Ve bir plaket takdimimiz olacak. Sayın Sayar'dan yardım rica edeyim. Yeah. For Mr. Mazur, yeah. For Mr. Dalicia. This is for you. Yeah.